All right, all right. We're going to start a little early today, so put your hands together. Joining in on the family.
What's up, James? Big James, Big James, Big James.
Welcome.
All right, all right.
Welcome to, as folks still come in. Hope you're having a wonderful hump day.
Yeah, man.
Hope everything's going well with you and your family. We always say, this is a place to be on Wednesday, right, y'all?
Yeah, buddy. That's it.
Who did exercise today? Raise your hand if you did some exercise today. I guess not too many people
Yeah, man.
did exercise today, Big B.
Had my great exercise. Walk from the bathroom to the kitchen.
This don't count as exercise, all right? This don't count, all right? All right, I want to say thank you for all those that are coming in. And
Give me a smile, Frida.
a chance to invite
That's right. Thank you, man.
And as we let folks in, we want to get started, Big B. We're going to get started early today.
All right, man. That's what's up.
All right, I'm going to come off. So as I come off, I want to bring the voice down on the music.
Yeah.
And we're going to come off of sharing, and we're going to get started today.
Oh, man. Well, look, that's what's up. I can't take
All
that.
right, Big B,
Woo,
man.
woo, woo.
Big B, I
Man.
love that sound, man.
See,
Something about the music.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Music is good for the soul. And
Well,
Why?
it
Why are you
what it
crying? No,
does
because I
for-
can't be watching you.
Hey, guys, make sure you mute yourself. Mute yourself.
Make sure
Look out,
you
Frida.
mute
Frida getting ready to beat somebody up or messing with
She's
her.
about to get with somebody.
Frida, don't
All
hit him
right.
too hard or it'll be messing with you. Tell him I got it.
All right. I want to welcome everyone to the family tree. Everybody
yeah,
looking
yeah.
good. You got your good faces on today.
Yes.
And we're going to get started. If this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. And we welcome you also to come back in every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We'll be here.
Yes.
And what we do is we talk about all that is holistic, all that is organic, anything that's going with health and healing for the family. We say
Yes,
gather
yes.
around the tree because the tree is an ancient concept going back to, even the ancient laurel trees. The laurel trees were found all over the planet. But that's a place where the meeting place where people got around and people talked about whatever's going on in your world. So whatever's going on in your world, you gather around the network of the tree, and from there you can find out something that will help you solve your problem. So
Yes.
tonight, if you got a question, concern, anything on your heart, anything on your mind, we say bring it to the tree, right, Big B?
That's it, buddy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tree. And then from there, we can hopefully get the questions answered for you. With all that's going on in this world and the world going backwards, we're moving forward, right?
I know that's
So,
right.
Down at the very bottom, you'll see the reaction bar down there. You can click on the reaction, ask for your question, and then we'll probably get that question answered for you in some way. You'll get your hand up there at the top. You see the hands up at the top? And from there, we'll move forward to ask your question. If you are someone that does not want to get on the chat or you don't want to be visual, you can actually just put your information in the chat box and either Big B
buddy.
or Prophetess, where they will actually type it up real quick.
Look out.
And
now.
we'll get it in. All right. If you're someone that's calling by phone and you missed the prompt that said to actually click this button, if you want to raise your hand, don't worry. Just let us know and we'll try to get you in. How's that sound? All right.
That's like a winner to me,
Let's
man.
family put our hands together for my host with the most. That is Big B.
Whoop, whoop,
Yeah.
Yup. That's what's up.
All right, Big B. How you doing over there, buddy?
Man, shoot. I went outside today. It was so nice and cool. I got my brown on. What can I tell you?
What kind of shirt you got on, man? What's that say?
None of your business. It says
It ain't easy.
it ain't easy being cheesy. I went out to pick up something in the store today, and a lady in the store with her son. She said, "See that, baby? It ain't easy being cheesy." That's it. Get it going on. That's what's up. She had the biggest laugh on about this shirt, man. And you know what? I didn't even know what was on. I just took and put it on going out the door. See, you get to be a hit.
You better read your shirts before you go out.
Shut the front door, boy.
All right, we're going to get started today. And Big B,
Yeah, man.
so much going on in the world today, man. You
Woo.
know, and that's why we say the family tree is becoming more relevant to the family because
Yes,
people
yes,
need
yes.
answers. People
Yeah,
need answers to solutions, you know, that are going on. But guess what? People are getting well.
there
I
they
can
are.
report back to you that when I sit down at the office, we see so many people that are coming through and they're getting well. They're doing
Yes,
better.
yes, yes,
They're
yes.
turning things around. You know, their families are turning things around. You know, some of the things that they're learning on the family tree or on WRD when we're broadcasting, people are trying these things and applying the principle.
Yes.
So we're going to dive in today, talk about some good stuff. And remember, there is no dumb questions, right?
That's right. There's only
No
one dumb
question.
question, Dr.
Only
Paul.
one dumb question. That's the
That's
one
right.
you didn't ask.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. There you go. So the Social Security is what? It's not your check. It's your family. So that's why we say Social Security. Say it slow, y'all.
Social Security.
Security. That's your family.
There
There
you,
you
I
go.
heard that. I heard that.
All right. So we're going to get it started. Big B, tell us what's going on around the world, buddy.
Yo, man, listen, guys, from our very, very favorite website, that's Encode, encode2019.live. Here are the facts of approximately 2 minutes ago. Total confirmed cases now, 584,721,128. Total critical cases around the world, 43,625. Total deceased, 6,425,143. Total active cases, guys. Now, listen, these are active cases, 28,114,389. Total recovery. Here's our mental health moment, guys. Here we go. I can't miss that. 549,937,553, family. That's what's up. Healthy people.
All right.
Healthy
all right.
people.
All right. There we go.
Stuff is going on.
There we go. There we go. So what's going on in the world? We're going to get started and we'll start off. Let's start off with the chat box. Anyone in the chat box, Big B, that we can talk about?
I've got one right off the bat. Calvin wants to know, what do you take to prevent monkeypox? Stay away from the monkeys. How about that? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, remember, monkeypox is an STD. That is, you know, again, the precautions are to keep your distance, also watch close contact, spittle, you know, when you're close to someone, things like that. All the same things you've been doing, you know, that's the same thing that applies with this. You know, the interesting thing about monkeypox, it affects the lymphatic system. When we talked about the lymphatic system is your secondary circulatory system.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So again, that means some of the symptoms may be things like, you know, lumps under the armpits. It could also be lumps in this area under the cervical. Got it? Axillary or the groin area. Those are the things that you watch out for. Outbreaks on the skin represent issues with the skin, body's trying to push it out. That's the liver trying to push it out of the skin. So that's why you're seeing the outbreaks, but that's just the body attempting to correct itself. So same thing, you have to, as an outbreak, you know, this is something, again, of blood. Remember, we talk about the lymphatic system is what? It's the sewer system of the body.
Yes.
You have to continuously keep it clean. That's it. Simple as that. You know, I want to share something with y'all. It's interesting that we talk about cleansing all the time because here's something right here. Can y'all see this right here?
Yes, very clever.
This is actually called, it's called liver and kidney cleanse.
Okay.
And you know what this is for? This is for my dog.
Oh, look out now.
This is my dog right here. This is a special company that actually designs, you know, cleanses for dogs. And I take just like I do my family, we take the dog still, and he does a cleanse also. Ain't that something? And here, it's interesting when I look at some of the cleanses, because the very things that we talk about for monkeypox, for COVID, all those, guess what? They're right in here also. Guess what's in this formula, Big B?
Talk to me.
We got milk thistle. We got burdock root. We got yellow dock.
That's the same thing we take.
We got dandelion.
Yes.
We got marshmallow root. This is the same.
It's the same stuff
that we talk about. That means it's universal. That's why. And these things have been tested for pets also. So what does it mean? It means that, yes, these things that God has created on this planet is food. And that means if it's food, it's only going to be for your edification. So it's cleansing you out. So here it is. If they can give it even to a dog, the dog is saying, Doc, I got you. That'll do me good. Yep, here you go. Liver and kidney cleanse is the same herbs that we've been talking about. I just wanted to make that a point.
You know, so interesting about that, Dr. Paul. Look, where do we all come from? Dirt.
You got it. You got it.
So you feed the dirt, which does what? We had that big conversation about fungi the other day, remember?
Yes. We're going to do a whole special on that. I'm going to do a whole special on the miracle fungi. Yeah, that's right. Okay, what do we have, Big B?
Okay, young one now, I guess what Tina wants to know, is garlic on the acidic side?
No, it's alkaline. That's an alkaloid. Yeah.
Okay.
Alkaloid. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the alliums. You remember it's on the alliums. So anything that's doing on the allium side, it's going to start to it's an antibacterial, antiviral. It does all those. You know what garlic is also good for? It's also good for a lot of stomach issues like stomach virus. But also there's one called H. pylori.
Yes, I've heard about that.
H. pylori is on a rise in a lot of the hospitals because H. pylori is a bacteria eating. It actually eat a hole in your stomach.
Ooh.
So you can go in and it's very communicable. So that means that you can get this thing in a lot of ways. So believe it or not, you can go in to the hospital with a broke ankle and come out with H. pylori because it's contracted with sheets, you know, silverware, just basically uncleanliness. And they're testing this constantly in the hospitals. So when you start doing things like that, yes, you can actually do things like the garlic, which actually helps to rid that. Yeah, garlic is powerful.
So you got to make sure that you ask questions, even whether in the hospital or not. You know, if you're not feeling well, if you have to go, if you're not feeling well before you leave, you got to do what? You got to ask questions. You can't. Sometimes you just can't. I hate to say this. Sometimes you just can't trust folk until it becomes your health is important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Listen, Dr. Paul. Calvin asked about different varieties of salt. Okay. Can you talk about the salt varieties and the time of year when a person is born? Salt deficiency. So we talked a little bit about that last week. And kind of
There's and that's like I was saying last week, and I mentioned it too. I'll do a thing on solar salts.
Right.
You know, that's something it's actually a plan that you can see based on the time you were born. You know, it's actually a whole chart of where this goes with. There's a guy that his name escapes me right now, but it deals with the zodiac and how it actually deals with the specific time you're born and all that. And they got charts, they got calculators. That's going to be a special show that I'll do.
Okay.
I'll do a special one on that because it involves it involves a true breakdown, and we just don't have time for that now.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be a whole segment that we got to go to.
Okay. All right. Then here we go from Cynthia. Cynthia wanted to know if you had to use one or two products for restoring memory after COVID, what would you do? What would you use?
If I would use something after COVID, it would have to be in the lines of things like not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. It would have to be something like a Bacopa, BACOPA. I would also do things like medium chain triglycerides, MCT, which is coconut oil. So you can buy coconut oil with additional MCT. I would also go into things like mushroom family, cordyceps of all kind, any types of cordyceps. And that means that you can do like a lion's mane, turkey tail. You can get into things like chaga, different ones that deal with Ganoderma, which is the reishi. Any of the red reishi are all good. Yeah.
Yeah, Cynthia, that's a good one. Let me tell you what. I was telling Dr. Paul that I've had that issue since I've had COVID, And I blamed it on, I blamed, what I say, Dr. Paul? I said that was 100% oxygen. I said 100% oxygen is from the devil. I've been trying to figure this whole thing. Sometimes driving down the street, guys, and I know where I'm going, but sometimes putting it together. And I think what Dr. Paul is talking about is going to be one of those great things going to help us get through this whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, doctor. How did you spell the first thing you mentioned? You said B-O.
Bacopa.
B-A-C-O-P-A.
Bacopa.
Yeah, Bacopa is, if I was speaking about anything that deals with brain activity, Bacopa allows you to deal with what they say left and right hemispheres.
Yes.
So, for example, Bacopa is what's called an aquatic. And what is an aquatic? Aquatic has the ability to grow on both land and sea.
Okay.
So when you have this, the Bacopa was good for those dealing with recall. So it was very good with recall. Very good with left and right brain, which means what? Logic and creativity. By the way, what side is logic again? Is that the left side or the right side?
Look at
Is it the left side?
Which side is that on? The left side? What's the logic side? Is that the left side? Patricia, I see you smiling over there. Is that the left
I thought that
side?
was the
or
front
right
lobe.
side?
Left
Sarita,
side,
come on,
yeah.
Sarita. Is that the left or the right side?
It's the
Anthony,
left
come on,
side.
Anthony. Don't sit back there
When
like
in
y'all
doubt,
see you,
go
Anthony.
right.
I see you, Anthony.
Anthony,
What
I ain't getting in
the
this.
left
side,
or the right side? If you ever know, do y'all want to learn how somebody lying? Oh, I got everybody.
It lead to the left.
I got
Watch your
everybody.
eyes.
It's
to the
scratching
left.
that left temple.
Y'all looking now.
Let's
That,
see.
Say, you lying. Yes, you are. No, you're not. So here's what you're doing. Remember, left side, your left side, got it, is what? Logic. Got it? Logic side. Logic. Got it. That's recall. That's like a hard drive on a computer. Right side, your right, is creativity, imagination. So that's where it comes in from left and right hemisphere. When you have the ability to cross over from using and utilizing both sides, you become dynamic. Woo!
All right. That's what's up.
Big B.
And the front lobe. Lobe.
Yep. It allows you to deal with all activity on every level, from front lobe, the memory, language, speech. It deals with everything.
Wow.
So yes, that's all good. All good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Doctor. Appreciate it. I'm
Dr.
traveling from Florida up to you in Pennsylvania. Don't know if I can get to see you for a second time, but it's great seeing you today.
All right. Same here. Thank you so much.
Boy,
Yeah, definitely.
God knows what he's doing. I'm so glad of that. Yes, sir.
Bacopa, Big B.
Sir. All right, my friend.
Better get some Bacopa, man. You can remember what's going on.
Do I have to rub it on my head? Do I take it inside? Oh man, I don't know where that came from. That comes from this.
You gotta do is rub it right here.
Hello, may I ask a question, please?
Maybe. Go right ahead, Marcy.
Yes, thank you. I know some folks, they do take ginkgo biloba. Would that have the same ingredients in it for your memory as you were just speaking of?
Ginkgo biloba is very good. Ginkgo is very good. It's a blood thinner, so you have to watch it if you're taking a blood thinner already. Like a Warfarin or something like that. That's a blood thinner. Be careful. Many people don't recognize that, they're starting to put things like ginkgo in some juice. Like if you're going to the store in the market, I'll see something that says juice. It'll have something like a grape juice with ginkgo. And I'm like, y'all really got to watch that because it's a blood thinner already. And if it thins it too much, it can cause lightheadedness, things like that. So be careful with the ginkgo. Ginkgo is also a melanin generator, and it also raises consciousness when it comes to spirituality. It is it activates the frontal lobes and all those areas of imagination and creativity. Got it? So it also, one of the things that it can do, I usually always talk about how the elephants, when they cross the Sahara at certain parts of the year because of the major, storms that come across the elephants trek across from one part of the Serengeti to the other. Got it? But guess what? When they land after a long journey, they always rest in a ginkgo patch.
Oh, no, that's deep.
And then when they
Wow.
rest in the ginkgo patch, they'll sit there and they'll all gather around and they'll just eat the ginkgo until they recover. Now, my question to you is that restores their energy, but there ain't no memory like an elephant's memory.
I know that's right.
Oh, wow.
That's right. That's when they put that on the women.
Y'all just put that one down. They was like, listen,
well, I ain't touching
that's
that one,
gonna be
boy.
ginkgo tomorrow. I'm gonna get some ginkgo tomorrow.
I ain't touching that one,
That's
boy.
funny.
Ain't that something? Ain't no memory like
Yeah.
like an
I know
elephant,
that's right. I know that's right.
So what does it do? Yes, it deals with incredible things that deal with the frontal lobe. But like I said, my only disclaimer is if you're taking already a blood thinner, it will thin the blood. So be careful. Got it?
Right.
All
I
right.
see. Thank you.
All right.
Okay,
All
good
right,
question.
Dr. Paul. Lawrence wants to know what's the best way to treat toenail fungus.
Definitely with fungus, you have the I always tell people cinnamon oil. Cinnamon oil. Also, you want to use things like cinnamon oil. You can also use things like neem oil is good. Also, you can use things like let's see what else. You can use oregano oil. Those are all antifungal. Okay, it's important that you get the antifungal on those. That's what really stops that ability for it to keep going, but it also keeps it dry. Okay, dries
Hey guys,
it out.
listen, do yourselves a favor. Also, read the chats along the side. As a matter of fact, to the question that was just asked, right underneath. Okay, here's this. Melody had already answered his questions, and it said exactly what Dr. Paul said. So, that's why it's important to make sure you get the chats at the end of the program. You know what I'm saying? That way you have all that stuff right there that's close to you. All right, before we kind of go up front.
Tell them how they can do that, though. Tell them how they can get that information.
Yes, guys, to make sure that you get a copy of tonight's chat, you want to send an email to me. That's mechavideo@gmail.com. Mechavideo@gmail.com to make sure you get a copy of tonight's chat. And we'll get down to the end of the program. We'll tell you exactly how to have access to the videos and all those kinds of things. And guess what? How you can also continue to support the program along the way, Dr. Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when you talk about the brain activity, you have to talk about the frontal lobe, the motor cortex, which is right on the middle part. And then you have the parietal lobe. You have the occipital, which is in the back. That's dealing with vision, things like that. But it's all these parts of the brain are under attack right now because of the processed foods. Now talk about this two things that are being sprayed on your food that you really got to be careful of. One is the chlorpyrifos and also this glyphosate. Okay. The most sprayed of all things coming into the United States would be blueberries. Okay. Blueberries, number one. Number two would be papaya. Spinach. Okay. Also, any forms of oatmeal, all sprayed. Got it? You got to watch that. So if you're eating oatmeal in the morning and you have digestive issues, you got to watch that oatmeal. See, they're pre-spraying this stuff and we're trying to figure out why they're doing it. Everywhere else in the world, they don't do it, but they do it here. So just keep in mind, those are the things that happen. And then those things come in and they fog up your bloodstream. And then you have this thing that crosses into what's called the blood-brain barrier. When it crosses the blood-brain barrier, it gets into the brain and it starts to mess with the ability for you to function right. And it also it actually messes with your blood. It messes with your liver. And of course, if it's in your liver, it's in your brain, right? Because what happens? Your brain is connected to your liver, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those problems are happening with people not being able to cognitively function on a regular day. It becomes a stress for them. So that's why some of those herbs that we just mentioned, the ginkgo, things like the bacopa, they help you to manage to sort of like, what we say, connect to those things, pull that stuff out of your brain. Also, if there's like a cleanse, if I were to give you anything that would be the cleanse, I mentioned it several times. It would be things like the glutathione, not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, family. Glutathione, and also alpha lipoic acid. That's if you feel that you've been exposed to some kind of heavy metals. If you have something like mercury fillings in your mouth,
Yes.
or heavy metal in your mouth, or light metal in your mouth, things like that, or you have a concern about that, yes, that's something that you want to do. They know that these effects do have a problem with their teeth, and then anything connected to your teeth is connected to every organ in your body. Just like we did the hands last week.
Yes.
We did the feet. You're connected all throughout the body, even the teeth. So if you have heavy metal in the teeth or something like that, you want to go with trying to get that stuff removed. That's called a biological dentist. A biological dentist. That's like a natural holistic doctor that does dentistry. So you want to get someone, you just probably want to call your coverage and say, hey, who's this biological dentist to me? And then you can get that done. All right.
Okay. All right. Let's go up to Sharice up in the corner. Then we'll go back to the last one we have in the chat. Sharice, you there?
Yes, hi.
How are you?
All right. I just want to say I got some good news.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
All right.
Look, I lost some weight.
You lost some weight.
Go ahead with your bad
All
self,
How
girl.
much weight did you
So
lose?
altogether, I lost 15 pounds.
Shut up. I know. That's what's up. That's
All
great.
right.
That's great.
Congratulations.
All right,
Awesome.
everybody come off and give her a shout.
That's what's up.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
God bless you, sweetie. Keep up the good work.
Congratulations.
Nice job.
15 pounds. Yay.
Congratulations,
Girl.
Sharice. Congratulations.
Y'all funny, boy. Y'all like funny, boy. They like,
I see you
like,
outside.
congratulations. Go, girl. You go, girl.
You go, girl.
Y'all
Congratulations. Thank you. I actually got on the scale today because people was like, you're losing weight. And I don't see it
That's
yet.
awesome.
The other people are seeing it. And when I got on the scale, I said, oh my goodness, I'm really losing weight. I lost some pounds. I'm still struggling with my with the fatty tissue, but they doing whatever they doing. I don't know. I guess eventually they'll go away.
Well, you got to tighten it up. Remember,
Wow.
what tightens
Wow.
up fatty tissue is going to be what? Remember, we talked about fatty tissue and what tightens it up? What? Amino acids. Remember,
Yes.
any type of fatty tissue or cellulite that's stored in the flesh is a temporary holding space that the body says, I didn't have enough energy to break this down. So I didn't have quite enough because of watching the meat, right? Watching the unprocessed meat, I didn't have enough energy. So as a temporary way until I get some more, I'm going to stuff this right over here. And that's called what? Cellulite or yes, fatty. Yeah.
Well,
So now, how do you get it now? How do you get rid of it now? Remember, we talked about how to get rid of it, right? What do you do?
You know what, Dr. Paul? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say fatty tissue. I meant to say my lymphatic system. I'm sorry.
Okay, now I done went a whole nother direction.
I'm sorry, Dr. Paul. Yeah, I'm still struggling with that a little bit.
Well, that
but
was for
it's
those who
really-
have fatty tissue also.
I was getting ready to stand up and run out the room. Get my fatty
Yes, I
tissue.
need to hear about that.
Get rid of it.
Yeah. Yes.
Still need to know.
How you get rid of it?
See, y'all was like, how you get rid of it anyway? Yeah,
The
that
baseball
means
bat.
that you have to increase. Yeah,
You need to
baseball
stop.
bat.
Okay,
And be-
Sharice, what was the
All
rest
right,
of it?
so wait a minute, I gotta tell him.
Okay.
So what you would do is increase your what? Your hydrogen energy, which is what? Plant-based protein. That's what you
Yes.
would do. Plant-based protein. Complex carbohydrates are plant-based. So that's the green drinks. So land and sea. When you have that, that eliminates all that. If you start to get, if you just sort of go and stay off meat for a little while,
That's what I've
you
been
do
doing.
have to eliminate meat for a while. Get for the lighter things like fish. And if you just start doing more greens, increase your greens like sometimes 3 times a day, I'm telling you, that stuff will just feed right on away. And of course, you got to work out. You can't just do that and not do nothing. Do a little exercise. Guess what? Exercises it right on out of you. Got it?
Yeah, 'cause that's what I've been doing. I've been increasing my greens. I've been doing like stir fries, but I'll do like kale, spinach, mushrooms, green peppers, red peppers,
Mm-hmm.
yellow peppers, the purple onions, and I'm pretty much eating it like 3 times a day. And
Excellent.
I will eat fruit in the morning, like watermelon and strawberries and oranges. Like I found a farm is actually what is it called? No, Maple Acres Farm. I
Mhm.
found some seeded oranges.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so
Excellent.
yeah. So I've been actually going there getting oranges from there. That's in Plymouth Meeting Mall. That's like
Okay.
around I get Plymouth Meeting. Yeah,
Excellent.
Okay.
What store is that again?
it's a farm. It's
Okay.
It's a fun type of
it's
farm.
Maple Acres Farm.
Excellent. Maple
Yeah.
Acres Farm. Got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been going there getting like my fresh blueberries. Well, strawberry season is pretty much over, but I've been trying to like find local farms where I can get fresh fruit. And
Mm,
like even with my spinach, I get it from, but I go to the co-op, Weaver's Way Co-op, but
mm-hmm.
it's from a farm that's in Philadelphia. So I'm trying to
Excellent.
find like farms that's local so I can know that they not spraying all this garbage and stuff on our food.
Yeah, yeah. It's a mess right now, y'all. It's just a mess. That's it. You
That's
know,
it.
you just have to make sure you're on point, check everything, ask questions about everything
Mhm.
that's out there. Whenever in doubt, you can always ask, are these non-genetically modified seeds and
Mhm.
soils? That's what you
Mhm.
ask. That's if you have a farmer, that's what you ask them. If if they don't know, then see if you can ask the farmer or one of the farmers that are on staff,
Mhm.
to get that question. But that's the question that you would ask. All right, Sharice, good
Yep.
deal. Sharice, you're doing
Thank
good,
you,
girl.
thank you.
Go ahead,
All
girl.
right. Glad to hear that, Cerise. That's what's up.
All right,
All
all
right.
right.
All right. Here we go. One more before we go back up to Bianca. And this is from Tracy. It says, my arthritis doctor wants to give me a 6-day pack of steroids for curvatures of the spine of the lower back and neck for pain. I don't want to do that. But thankfully, no surgery is needed for now. The doctor is treating it with physical therapy. I know some of it has to do with being too acidic. What else can I do in the meantime? My physical therapist appointment isn't starting until September. I'm a vegan, no gluten, dairy, soy, etc. Really trying to eat clean and organic. Have been on a fruit fast for the last several days. Minimizing pain is the issue. How can you help?
Yep. That's what it does. See, when you're dealing with when you're vegetarian or vegan, your issues are going to always be bone
I need
density.
my charger.
It will be with bone density. Got it?
It's in
So
that
what do
big-
we start to do? We start to deal with watching bone density because the bones are getting soft and then they start to curve, curvature of the spine, scoliosis, because you have a degree of curvature. And then when you have a degree of curvature, it could be it could be curving and also twisting, or the one or the other. And that's when you sometimes get the sublation, you get the contraction where you're pressing, nerve, bone touching nerve, or even, disc touching nerve. And then that's when you get the pain. So you do have to start to now, I would always say start with an x-ray of where are you and get your curvature of spine, the curvature percentage of the spine. And then from there move forward with someone that's specifically specialist in the area of manipulation with not only chiropractor but myofascia, which means that's actually muscles and what we call the fascia, which actually is the tendons, which means that you have trigger points all over. So myofascial is what Dr. Lenny does. He does that.
Yes.
You know, they call it myofascial, some call it fascial, but that's actually the tendons that actually, when you hit the trigger point, he'll have you do a certain move, like a move behind your back or something like that. And it'll actually release the muscles because they get really constricted. And that's what holds and pulls sometimes the spine right out of place. So when you're vegan, I would definitely say to add bone density things like, not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul, but things like coral calcium is what I would recognize. Coral calcium, which is coral calcium comes out of the ocean. You know, I mentioned that several times on the family tree. So coral calcium has automatic magnesium, which comes from the Isles of Okinawa. You know, they had the time when people left the island. It was called the Great Exodus, when people just left the island because there was nobody sick, because people were just, you know, 2, 3, 4 generations all working out in the field and nobody sick. Why? Because they were having coral calcium. The calcium which surrounded the barrier reef around the island was added to all their water, their plant life. They fed it to the animals. Everybody was well. Their pH was nice and high. So bone density is really strong. So if you can get, you know, along with that relationship with a chiropractor who does myofascial, along with doing some kind of therapy, you got to find out where you are first. It's a process, but you can regenerate and help to straighten your spine in the way it should do. But you gotta have somebody to work with on that one. Okay.
All right. All right, Bianca.
Yes.
All right, there we are. We got you. Bring it on.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I have a question that relates to my 14-year-old son. I'm trying to find ways to build up his immune system.
Yeah. So the first things you want to do is to, you know, is to start with the things to stay away, keep them away from. That would be the first thing. Yep, that would be the first thing. And you got to start talking about, the first thing you got to talk about is refined sugar, refined salts, refined oils. See, it's hard for the young folks now because they're tempted, you know, to do all the things that their friends are doing. And therefore they're going to drift and eat things that they shouldn't be eating. You know, it's normal for the young children to go in, get a McDonald's hamburger or, you know, a Wendy's hamburger or a Popeyes or something. But we know that those things are so bad for the body because of the oils. Right. You know, the oils are very, very bad. And yes, we have children. I said children with diabetes and high blood pressure. Yeah. Got it? So you have to, as a parent, number one, don't bring the stuff in your house. That's how you get them straight. You got to start with education. Children, if you raise them up early, they will, believe it or not, they will follow the way they're supposed to go. They won't forget it. They won't depart from them. But you have to have strong examples. That means parents got to do it. So no refined sugar, no refined salts, no refined oils. You got to limit the amount of goodies. You know, not saying, you got to move it off of them altogether, because I understand the life of a child. I remember when my son was little, you know, when he was young, you know, he would go out to places and, you know, he would get invited to a pizza party. Yes. And you can, yes, I can feel him like this, Big B. I can feel him going like this. He see the pizza and he look up at me like this. like, Dad, what's up? You know, and I was like, look, I understand, because you don't want to draw a barrier between the moral aspect of him and his relationship with his friends. But when he came home, I said, go ahead. You know, if you want a piece of pizza, go ahead. But when he came home, guess what? He was going to do things to clean up. He knew how to get well. He knew how to take certain things, certain herbs, green drinks, things like that. So you would start him off with a green drink. That's what I would do.
He can do the green drink that we do?
Absolutely.
Oh, with juice. Food. Okay.
Absolutely. It's food. That's it.
And what about vitamin C and D?
Vitamin C would be anything of plant, or we say fruit-based vitamin C.
Fruit based. So he
Fruit-
doesn't.
fruit-
So he wouldn't take the purely C.
Yeah, that's it. That's fruit-based.
Oh, okay. So he could
that's
take
it.
whatever vitamin C and D that I'm taking.
It's the same thing. It's food. It's
Okay.
food. It's all food. You can't go wrong with food. Now, if they tell we can't have food, we got another problem, y'all.
Well,
Okay.
Just like I was saying, just with the example that I was using with my dog. It's the same thing. It's all food. It comes from the earth. So it's only going to resonate with the body and do things like cleanse, feeds, gives you energy, things like that. So you can't go wrong. But I usually start children off on green drinks. That's what we start them off on. It's a multivitamin, it's a meal replacement, and it's a meal supplement. So if you're thinking that they're not getting a proper amount of nutrients, give them a green drink. They also can take the green drink and put it over things like their popcorn. Yeah. We give them like raw popcorn, of course, non-GMO popcorn, things like that. Not cooked in any specific oils or anything, but non-GMO. And they take the green drink and put it right over it. Becomes like a little meal for them, little snack for them. For you too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So thank you. I just wanted to tell you something that my husband wanted me to tell you. Years ago, he came for an assessment, and you were saying because his background, his family's from Trinidad, how he needed to go, I guess, at least once a year, to the islands to get that good sun and get in the water. And
yeah, that sounds like my conversation. Yep. Yep.
well,
right.
actually, the first time we went to Montego Bay, and the inflammation, he never swelled the entire time we was there. He felt really good because he has a clotting disorder. He has clots all over. But we were in Florida, and the same thing. He felt so good. I don't know if the sun was different in Florida than it is here or what.
Yep,
but
exactly. Yep, that's exactly it. You're spot on. See, the closer you are to the equator, you're going to get this thing called the blue light. It's a blue light. It's a different spectrum of light that's closer to the equator. That's why those in Florida, who in Florida tonight, y'all? Here in Florida.
There's a whole bunch of them in there. Whole bunch of Florida people.
I am
Floridians in here.
Teresa.
They pop up every time. You just say Florida, they pop up everywhere.
After the coronavirus, I can breathe.
There they are. Okay.
Florida.
Florida. Yeah. So
We
what's
ain't
happening?
mad at you. We ain't mad
We
at you.
ain't mad at you. We just want that sun. So what's happening is, yes, you're absolutely correct. That's why I was saying, whenever you feel sick, go south towards the equator. You've been feeling sick. That's why I said those that are born in those areas, your first generation, you're born in those areas like Trinidad, you're in places like, down in the Caribbean, places like that. Your DNA code says I'm from here. So when you come up to the north, this is some bad stuff for you. That cycle we call the blackout zone between October of every year going into April of the following year is going to be a rough time for you.
And that's when he always gets sick.
Yeah, right. That's right. That time. That's the low spectrum light, because now the sun is falling. So that's going to always have a problem. So what we need, yes, you need to go south, stay there for a time. Then you start to come back when, you gotta regenerate. But yes, you're absolutely correct. The sun is different in the lower spectrums of light, which is closer to the equator. All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm glad he's doing well. Send him my regards. Is he right there?
Yes, he is.
See,
what's up, man?
See?
Put him on the camera.
Tell him to get up. Tell him to be brave like us. All right.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Looking out for you, buddy.
All right.
He's trying to get off of night shift. His circadian rhythm is all messed up.
And he's from the Caribbean.
What? You're frozen, but we can still hear you.
Yes. I can understand where that would be a challenge, because he's from the Caribbean and he's doing a different shift.
Yeah.
So that means he's not even getting the regular like that average people are getting. He's getting, that's a tough one. So definitely he's got to stay up on that vitamin D. All right.
Okay. All right. Now let's see. We'll have a chat and then we'll go back to Colette. All right. Will the things mentioned to help memory after COVID help with what is called pump head or memory loss after being on a heart lung machine during open heart surgery?
Okay, say that again.
Okay, Cheryl asked this question. Will the things mentioned to help memory after COVID help with what is called pump head, I guess I'm pronouncing that correctly, or memory loss after being on a heart lung machine during open heart surgery?
Yeah, see that. Yeah. So yes, it will. It will help anything when you're dealing with open heart surgery and you're dealing with levels of possibility, oxygen, loss of oxygen to the brain, things like that. Whatever the complication is, you can help situations, with the things that we talked about COPA. What really comes to mind specifically, I mentioned last week, here it is right here. Oh, I just happen to have it right here.
No, you did. It was already sitting there. He knew, Dad knew, so we put it right there.
Yeah, I'll tell you, in the spirit, brother, in the spirit. I mentioned CoQ10.
Yes.
And I mentioned PQQ.
Yes, you did last week.
Remember I mentioned last week. That's
yes,
right.
Sir.
Now, here's a good form of CoQ10. These are things that can help with that process, because when I did the research and study, it showed that, the higher you dive into this thing with PQQ, y'all remember that one? Pyroquinone quinone. Remember that? That was PQQ. That's why they call it PQQ, because you can't say that 3 times.
Yes.
So that, along with the CoQ10, together, they start to do things like regenerate, or they call it mitochondria biogenesis, which means that it regenerates cells, dead cells. So that's where they were doing studies, and it was helping people with, that had brain issues from stroke, things that had heart attack, strokes, ischemic attacks, hemorrhaging, things where people had lost total, literally dead cells, where even were affected their vision, things like that. And people started regenerating, man. So if there's anything that I would say that, that on the market of research that is in the line from what you're talking about, it would be CoQ10 with PQQ. So you might want to do some research on that. Okay. Dr. Best has a good one.
Thank you.
Doctor's Best is good, but this one right here, this is absolutely the best one right here. Doctor's Best is a fermentation, and that's the only thing I don't like about it. It's a fermented. This one is called Approved Science. It's called Approved Science. Let me see if I can pull it.
Can you put that in the chat?
There it is right there. Approved Science. Hold up, let me do this. It's too much light. I can't do it. You see it right there? Approved Science.
Let me see if I can find it here, Dr. P.
Yeah, Approved Science. CoQ10. That's one of the highest forms of high absorption CoQ10. Premium grade. And this is one of the best one that's out there. And this one, interesting enough, this one has medium chain triglycerides. Wow. So you're getting all three. You're getting all three.
That's what's up.
Wow. So you're getting medium chain triglycerides, you're getting the CoQ10, and you're adding the PQQ. Can't beat that. Yep, that's a winner right there. That's a winner. That's a winning combination for brain, focus, concentration, heart, rhythmic issues. If you've been told palpitations, things like that. That's what that's recognized for. All right.
Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right.
I said, woo.
I said, what up? Okay, Colette.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. How are
Hey,
you?
Colette.
Terrific.
Okay, great. I have 2 testimonies, and then
I love
have
testimonies.
a question for Dr. Paul.
Okay.
One of the main testimonies that, let's say, early last year I had fallen. I'm not going to make it long, and I hurt my knee. Okay, so I went back to Dr. Lenny this year because I went to him last year, and they helped me a lot. But this year it got worse. It started feeling bad. I hadn't gone, and I told him I was going to testify tonight. They have this machine because I went to Rothman and they took x-rays and they saw my knee, you know, like some of the fluid is leaving, whatever. So they told me to do this physical therapy. That made it worse. So when I went to Dr. Lenny, they used this machine. I can't remember what they told me the name of it was, but they stretched the bones in my knee and I can walk.
Well, amen.
Well, you go ahead
Go ahead
now.
with your bad self,
You
girl.
go ahead now.
And that's
Everybody
what's
come
up.
off of you.
They come off it.
Awesome.
All right.
And I just came back from sunny Florida. I just came back from sunny Florida.
All right.
The thing is that I started turmeric a month ago for the inflammation in the area, and it took it away. 750 milligrams. Okay,
Excellent.
took away the inflammation. So I'm so excited about that, you know, because I can walk. I was like dragging my knee and my leg. Okay, everybody, you got to listen to that. It's going to help you. Dr. Lenny. So, and
How much turmeric?
750 milligrams, one a day. I have a certain product I got through Amazon. I'll put the name on the chat, okay?
All right.
So then vitamin D, Dr. Paul. I'm trying to understand. There's been news. I have news that comes up on my phone about vitamin D isn't the same as it used to be, or is not doing what they say it should do for the heart, so on and so forth. So I would like you to address that a little bit, because I don't believe what they're saying, but could you talk about that?
You know what? I love the studies that they come up with. First of all, why are you studying vitamin D when you know everybody's taking it? Because they know that it's affecting and it's balancing people, and it's actually a competition to the pharmaceutical industry.
Yes.
If you look at who's actually coming up with this stuff, it's going to be, of course, the pharmaceuticals trying to knock down the fact that people are really getting into the real essence of what's causing a lot of the problem, which is deficiency of vitamin D. Got it? Whenever they do these tests, they always do a slanted test. You know, we say slanted or rubber numbers. That means they never address the real issue. First of all, you got to find out when they did the test, who they did the test on, when they did the test, you know, how many people were in the test, where did they do the test, did the people look like you and me?
No.
All of this stuff has to bear value. And then what form were they giving it to? This is called control studies.
Yes.
They'll come in with these rubber numbers and like, they'll probably give them a hard caplet of some vitamin D, which is a pharmaceutical grade, which you can't break down because the person probably was acid. Person was probably acid. So if you're talking to somebody, in what form did you give it to them has a lot to do with it. You got it? And the forms that they have are really not good. They're just trying to discourage people. Family, you cannot function without certain elements like vitamin D. That's what keeps the cholecalciferol. That's your ability for your body to metabolize energy. And it takes sunlight and turns it into energy. Of course, they want you to shut this down because this want to keep you sick. If you want to keep you sick, just stop taking that vitamin D. Yeah, let's get something out there about that. No, don't go for it. Don't go for it. You get the bio. Right. You notice they never addressed the type of vitamin D that they did. They never did any of that stuff. If you, it's a slanted, it's always going to be slanted. Don't take it but a grain of salt. I saw the whole study too. It was, I find it humorous. I laugh at it because first of all, why are you picking on this side? Why don't you stay on your side?
Right.
Y'all stay on your side with them drugs.
Okay.
Stay on that side. Leave us alone.
No.
All right. I'm sorry. Don't get me
Okay,
started,
all right.
Big B. I'm gonna get on my soapbox. I might
I,
go off. I'm
I think
sorry.
I think it's lovely.
I laugh when I see stuff like that.
All right, let's go up. Then we'll go to the chat and come back to Irene. All right.
They say if you take this,
Yes.
it's no good.
No.
Let's go to the next story. You know, people sit there going like, I don't know what to do. You're confusing people so bad. You
All right,
know.
Dr. B, real quick. What's
All
the
right.
difference between Brahmin and Bacopa?
Bromelain,
Bromelain.
and
Okay.
Bacopa.
Okay.
Yeah, bromelain is actually found in like I believe she's speaking about bromelain. I believe that's what you say.
Yeah. I
It's
just kind of,
found in things like pineapple. That's the lining in the pineapple, which was in ancient times, people used that for inflammation. That's what it was used for. So you
Okay.
can use that too. Like if you have a pineapple, cut it open. When you're juicing, don't forget when you take the meat out of the coconut, or not the coconut, but the pineapple, you want to take that lining. That lining is full of this thing called bromelain, which is anti-inflammatory. Got it? That's totally different than Bacopa. Bacopa is an aquatic. That's actually sea vegetables considered. So that's actually dealing with brain. But, you know, you have anti-inflammatory properties with the bromelain also. So they both were well.
okay.
Both of them are anti-inflammatory.
All right. All right. Very good. All
Excuse
right.
me, Dr. Paul.
Mm-hmm.
That was a different herb. It's spelled Brahmi, I believe.
Oh, you're talking about Brahma. That's something
Yes, sir.
totally different. That's actually dealing with, you're dealing with other herbs that deal with higher consciousness that come from our Vedic Indian concepts of herbs. So that's where that's coming from. Those are definitely, they get into levels of psychotropics. So that can be something of a psychotropic for brain also. That is in the family. That's in the family of those like the ginkgo, all those that stimulate the pineal gland. Okay, so
Okay.
that's not to say one is better than the other. We say the best herb for you is the herb for you.
Yes.
Got it?
Yes.
Yeah, but those are ancient Vedic Indian concepts. Those are the herbs that are for that. So definitely that was remember, Brahma is actually used for high spiritual days. See, a lot of these herbs are used for high spiritual consciousness and going into transcendental states for getting connected to God, connected to the universe, getting spiritual revelation, so that you can bring to the tribe back information that God is sending for the tribe. Got it? Y'all saw Black Panther, right? Remember when he went into that transcendental state, and then he went in there? Well, what were they doing while he was in that state? They were praying over him. You know, they were praying over him. They buried him in that stuff, and they gave him the purple flower, right? They gave him the purple flower, and then what he took? He went into that state. High consciousness, pineal gland opens up, and then he went and started visiting his ancestors. You remember he was visiting his father. He was like, "Hey, Dad, what's up?" You got it. So that has a lot to do with high spiritual level things, but you gotta know what you're doing. You cannot dabble.
I was getting ready to
with
say
that.
that you can't play with that.
You can't dabble with that.
Nope.
Those are psychotropics. And when you get into psychotropics, you get into things like the mushroom family, and we'll get into that. The mycelium.
Myceliums. Yes, Lord.
Myceliums, yes. The connection
That's-
between the
Thank you,
mycelium.
Dr. Paul.
That's deep.
Yes.
Yes, Sabrina, go ahead.
Yeah, I just had one more question. This is from my mother. She lives in Chicago. She wants to know what's good for Meniere's disease. Of
Okay,
course,
That
she's
was,
87.
that was my
years
next
old.
question from you, Sabrina. I just seen it. So
What
there.
was that? I missed that question.
See, what's good for Meniere's disease? MENIERE apostrophe S. I hope it's spelled correctly.
Meniere's disease?
Yes,
Are you talking about dizzy spells, vertigo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Well, first thing I would start to do, how old is she?
87.
Yeah, first thing I would do is watch out for urinary tract infections. Got it? That's the first thing I would check out. Vertigo for seniors tends to be holding of the urine, just to make sure it's a checkpoint. Make sure that they're not holding the urine, because it's hard for them to get up and down and going in different places and getting to the bathroom. So it tends to be when you hold the urine, That's the whole down in the lower burner, lower chakra, perfect condition for bacteria to grow. So when that happens, now it's the perfect condition for bacteria to grow, urinary tract infections. And then when they finally go, and then they come out and they say, well, I feel like I still got to go. That means that you're empty, but the lining of the bladder may be slightly infected. Okay. When seniors get this, the body says, wait a minute, I got an infection, raise the heart rate. So it now speeds up the heart rate to burn out the infection. So it raises the temperature. Now, not only the heart palpitation goes higher, but also the temperature rises. Now, when the temperature rises too high, a lot of seniors get too much heat on the brain. Got it? Too much heat on the brain gets too close to the temperature of 108, which is boiling temperature of blood. So if you get around 100, 101, that's too much heat on the brain, causes discombobulation and dizziness, and they tend to lose or have vertigo issues. Got it? So I would start there first. Any issues with UTIs at all that you know of?
Yes, sir. She have that sometime.
Yep, that's a big cause right there. So you got to make sure her water is on point. Make sure she's getting proper amount of water, the right water, but also, we have to check for UTIs. And when we do UTIs on our side, we get the natural, of course, I would have to recommend, see her before I could recommend anything or do any assessment on her first. You would start to think, I can give you traditionally what's used, which is things like golden seal roots. Got it? But I would say definitely, are you in Philadelphia?
No, I'm in Virginia, actually.
You're
And
in
she's
Virginia?
in Chicago.
She's in Chicago. Yeah. So I would definitely tell them to check for urinary tract infections. Number one, get her on a green drink, change her water. Okay. Those are the two things that I would check with. But it's, that's what happens when a lot of seniors have a lot of UTI, urinary tract infection. You ever heard the expression, somebody say, so sister so-and-so, brother so-and-so keep falling. They keep falling. Every time I turn around, they say they fell again. Yep, discombobulated. And it also causes confusion sometimes. Sometimes they'll talk funny and they'll say, don't seem like they're talking right, or that's too much heat on the brain. That's
Yes.
Got it. And they're
Thank
laughing.
you, Dr. Paul. Appreciate it.
Okay, you got it. All right.
Good question. Good
Oh,
question.
Very good.
question.
Very good. All right, Irene, up in the corner there. Irene, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Paul, I would like to ask a question about what you think about mammograms and breast mammography.
Okay.
Breast what now?
Mammograms and what was the other one?
Breast mammography.
Yeah, I mean, remember, when you're talking about breast lumps, you're talking about, did you say breast lumps, right?
No.
What are you saying?
It's a procedure that maybe I'm not saying it right. Breast mammography. Wait a minute. Where they take cold and hot image of your breasts.
Okay. So remember, it's still going back to your lymphatic system. Okay. Remember, we going back to the same question last week with that we talked about with lymphatic system.
Last week.
Well, I'm not just saying for you, but just in general. We are, as I keep every week, we're talking about keeping the lymphatic system moving. You gotta get in. That's what's under attack right now, y'all. Let's get into the cleansing of the lymphatic system, blood cleansers, things like the lymphatic massage. They're going to give you a test for everything or a procedure for everything. But really what it comes down to, that lymphatic system only moves one time in a healthy person. That's the person that exercises every day. That person exercises every day. That lymphatic system only moves. Remember, it doesn't have a pump. So that's why we have to start, go back to every day. Everybody do like this. Everybody do like this. Everybody in the growing area. You gotta keep it going. Keep it going. I would say that's what my recommendation is, that everyone just keep your lymphatic system moving.
Yes.
Moving. And
I was wondering what you think about mammogram, breast mammogram. Because my doctor,
Well, remember, mammogram is using radiation. So remember it only if you need to get it done. If there is an understanding that there's a possible potential for something that you need to see. Remember, when you take a mammogram, you're actually opening yourself up to receive light radiation in the very place that you're trying to find out if there's a cancer there.
yeah, that's
So,
why I don't want to take it, because I had breast cancer in 2016. And my
So here we go, Irene. I didn't want to stop you there, but remember, even if you took the exam and you found out what was going on, you still going to go back to a lymphatic detox anyway. So no matter what the result says, you act like you're going through a detox anyway. Just do the lymphatic detox. Go through the process of the lymphatic cleanse. We've given out a couple of times, Big B, I don't know if you have that on there from the past shows, but we gave out a couple of lymphatic tonics.
Yeah, I don't have it here, but yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
Go through that along with the exercise, rebounders. We talked about the rebounders. See, we have a system. They have a system in allopathy of checking you every so often. We have a system of checking you by doing what? Cleansing every change of seasons. See how we work? See how we work? See how they work? See how we work? That's the thing. See, we go back to saying, okay, y'all going to check each other and, x-rays and stuff like that. But we say, nah. You keeping it clean. You keeping it moving. You got to keep it moving. Got it? So keep that in mind. So, you just got to be careful with any type of light radiation. You remember when they start having this issue, they used to have, for ladies, they used to have breast, exams every year. Y'all remember that? They said we need a mammogram every year. But then back around 2000, somewhere around 2003, 2005, they saw a spike in your numbers. And they said, well, maybe we better pull back a little bit because the people we're testing seems like they took a spike. So they said, well, maybe you don't need it every year. Maybe you need it every other year. And then they went back to every other year, and then they still saw a spike. So they said now it went back to somewhere around 2013. They said, well, wait a minute, maybe if your doctor believes that there's a possible potential problem, then get it. But that news never got out to a lot of women. So a lot of women are still taking it every year when you could be opening yourself up to that. So be careful with that. Remember, be careful.
I stopped. The last one I had was 2017.
Right.
And I told her that just putting radiation in your body, and I didn't want to do that.
You got it. And what's happening is we hold on to radiation light. And remember, there's things like the sea vegetables is what would detox you from those things, sea vegetables. So that would be specifically things like kelp, chlorella, things like spirulina, things like that.
Your green drink?
Green drink, yep. My green drink has everything in it, yep. That's right.
So, Dr. Paul, I have a question about the mammogram. So, I know for me, I go every year because my thing is if you don't go, and then what if you have a problem? So you have to go get that checked. You understand what I'm saying? I know the radiation.
That's what I said. That's why I said the allopathic way is they check every year. Our way is you detox every change of seasons. That's the difference. See, if you're detoxing every change of season, it's just an understanding of what you're looking for. It's the lymphatic system is backing up. And most people don't have a true understanding of what the lymphatic system really is. They don't understand that that's the sewer system of your body. So you're backing up. So if it's not moving, then you got to keep it moving. That only happens with a cleanse every change of seasons. Got it? So you keep it moving. So even if you found out that you had it, so if you're checking every year and you knew you had to find it, the first thing you're going to do is do a lymphatic cleanse, which is what we're saying, do that in the beginning anyway, right? Start that anyway.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so what Irene is saying is that you're opening yourself up for light radiation.
Right.
And that's what now causes or opens up the body to receive the very thing that you don't want. You got it? So
Right.
keep that in mind. So what's a cleanse with the lymphatic cleanse? We've done this several times. We've had several we've talked about it. Big B, do we have one on there? Do you have
Dr.
anything on
Paul
there?
is Mary Ruth's organic lymphatic support.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So put that in the chat for the ladies, okay?
Okay.
But
Thank
that's
you.
for the
Thank you,
men
Kay.
too. That's for the men too. Men too. That's the lymphatic system detox for you too. Got it?
And then you say something about lymphotonic.
Lymphotonic was another one. There's a lot of different ones. There was there was so many of them out there. But the main thing is that you get those specific herbs that are blood cleansers. Remember? Cleanse. Write this down. Everybody write this down. Cleanse every change of seasons. Beginning of every summer, winter, spring, fall. You should be doing a cleanse. That means specific herbs that are dealing with cleansing the lymphatic system. That means you start to do also, remember what comes with that is the lymphatic massage. You know, we talk about under here. This is what? Somebody tell me, what is this? What is this nodes under here? Those are the
Lymph nodes.
They're the lymph nodes, but which ones? Boy, not everybody at the same time. Boy, y'all moving too fast for me. Y'all moving too fast for me. Cervical, right? Axillary.
Axillary.
And in the groin is what? Inguinal. That's what you got to do. That's what you do. So go to YouTube and look for lymphatic massage. You do it in the morning while you're doing the detox. You do it in the morning and before you go to bed. Got it? And then when you do your exercises, additional things that you can do with things like the rebounder, which is the mini trampoline. Those are good. Or the medicine ball, where you just bounce on the ball. Got it? All those
Do
are
you
good.
do that in addition to your colon cleanse?
Yep. You can do it in addition. Yep. So all good. All good. Good questions, y'all. Y'all got some good questions tonight.
We're bringing the front part of our brain in done.
Yeah, big questions because the stagnation. I'm gonna tell y'all, I see some stuff. And I'm gonna tell you what some things that block the lymphatic system. Y'all might not want to hear this, but I'm gonna tell you. Irene, you finished though, Irene. Was that the last question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
okay, Irene. Thank you, Irene. You just started something up there. Go ahead.
Take your hand down. Take your hand down, Irene. Thank you.
So some things that I'm noticing, Big B, on a regular that I don't like. I really don't like. You know, how can you talk about cancer society, and yet when I go to your website and I look at the recommended foods for you, you got meat on there.
There you go.
You got it? And they know that 47%, almost 50% of the highest rate of cancer comes from meat. So how can you put that on your cancer site and say, this is a recommended meal? Well, maybe it's because they sponsor a lot of those meat providers. Got it? So that's when you get into the politics and things that you don't want to go too deep with. But that's why I said to you, you got to keep it moving. But I'm noticing these things. I'm watching white wine, right? White wine, shrimp, got it? Cheese, dairy, and processed either refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils. Those are the culprits right there.
You know what my oncologist said, Dr. Paul? I asked her, I said, you never once asked me about my nutrition or my diet. She said, because there is no diet for cancer.
Oh, God.
And she said, there's no scientific evidence of it. And I said, yes, there is. And I even took her, I even told her to go to John Hopkins website because they had something on there. And she said, well, there's no scientific evidence really based for that. There is no cancer diet. Of course, you're supposed to eat healthy. And I said, well, what is eating healthy?
Mean? What does that mean?
I said, what is eating healthy? You're not even telling people what eating healthy is.
What does that mean? You just took me in a circle. I'm confused now.
Right. She's the same one who said they can't find out why women are getting calcifications.
Good for.
Yeah, but we know what that is, right? Calcification only happens. Lack of magnesium. Go ahead, girl. You bad now.
That's right.
I ain't messing with you. I ain't messing with you. See, you teaching the doctor now. You teaching the
doc. They hate to see me coming.
I'm sure they do, because you're loaded up and you're educated. See, when you're educated and you understand how this thing works, it's a perfect system created by a genius. That means that, it's going to work. So calcification happens because the lack of presence of magnesium. Can't break it down, so it's going to calcify like a rock. So what do? I eat more greens. Raises the pH. Now starts to move this stuff out of your body. Got it? Good stuff, Bianca. I tell you, that's a good question. You cornered her. She ain't had nothing to say to you.
No.
Oh my goodness.
You want to hear that?
Who do we have there?
I got Kasim up there. Kasim?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, my friend.
All right, greetings, everybody. My question is, I heard you talking about the metals in the body, right? Now, I have a titanium jaw.
Okay.
So I guess I'm just stuck, huh?
No. You can do things that can keep yourself in balance. You just have to do it on a regular basis. You have to monitor your pH, things like that. I would direct you into things like oil pulling. Okay, you know about oil pulling?
Vaguely, no.
Okay, oil pulling is something that you can grab that number one off my website. Go to my website, drpaulers.com, and you can punch under download. You can get what's called oil pulling. Oil pulling is an ancient or Vedic Indian concept, goes back thousands of years. And what you would do is take an oil, unrefined, like a sesame oil, and you would literally put it about 2 to 3 tablespoons in the mouth, and you would squish. And you would squish for about anywhere from 15 to, some people pull for 30 minutes, believe it or not. And what happens is the squishing with the minerals starts to activate the salivary glands, which is in the back of your jaw, and start to now pull. So it can pull toxins from your bones, your joints, your ligaments, connective tissue through the bloodstream, all into the mouth. And it becomes a detox. So it's an ancient concept that goes back thousands and thousands of years. So go to my website to get you the whole details on how to do that. The one thing I love that Big B about the oil pulling, I love the lore of how stuff starts. I look at the deep stuff. I see the culture of it, right?
Yes.
And they went back and said to the ancient Vedic Indian, they say, well, what made you start to do this oil for detox? Like that's kind of strange that you would do that. You know what he said?
Yeah.
He said, God told us to do it.
Oh, watch out now.
That's all I got to say, man. That's all I got to say. Said God told us to do it. Oh, that's all. God said do it. That shut the door right there. That's a drop your mic moment right there. That's it. God said do it. That's it. So
but people don't want to hear that though, Dr. Paul. You know that, right?
Yeah, apparently.
I got one other question if I
Sure,
can
go
get
ahead.
it in.
Go ahead.
Right. So the other question is, since I had my stroke, I've been really cold.
Yeah, anytime you have cold in the body, that's usually lack of minerals. You're not holding on to the minerals. That's usually the liver. Liver usually holds the energy. That's your grounding. That's your charge. So you got to clean the liver, clean the blood. You get your voltage and your charge. That's your nuclear reactor for the body. So things that we use for cleaning the liver would be things like not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. I'm gonna read it off my dog's formula. How about that, Big B?
Go right ahead. Knock yourself out.
That would be burdock root, milk thistle. That would be yellow dock. That would be dandelion, and that would be like marshmallow.
My.
Wow, isn't that amazing? Even
Oh,
for
wow. Oh, wow.
Indy sitting over there saying, "Man,
I
I feel
appreciate
so
you."
good."
He said, "Oh, I appreciate you, Dr. P."
Absolutely. So, Kasem, that's what I would do. You got to get into the herbs that, if you go into the same download section, you can see the blood cleansers. You got to clean the liver. Yeah, clean the liver. Make sure your water's on point, though. You got to drink a lot of water. How's your water?
Great.
What's great?
What's great, Kasem?
5 bottles a day.
Okay, and what water you drinking? You drinking the right water, right?
Yep, Crystal Geyser.
You got it. There you go. Any water that's spring water bottle at the source. You got it. Keep it up, buddy.
All right.
All right. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Good stuff. Big B, we got some good questions.
Hey, good class tonight, man. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yes,
okay, a question from the chat. Then we'll go back to Jasmine.
Yes, go to chat.
What is good for interstitial cystitis / bladder pain syndrome? The doctor ordered, I can't even pronounce this. It's ditropin, constantly going to the bathroom.
Okay, interstitial
cystitis / bladder pain syndrome.
Yeah, going back into the same thing. You got to start to go back into, dealing with bladder.
Mm-hmm.
You got to watch, don't hold it, holding in that pelvic area, bladder pain, got it? And you got to start looking at things like that. Start with UTIs, urinary tract infections. A lot of those things happen starting with that. So what I would definitely, of course, what we deal with, as I was saying before, we go back into looking at what? Things like golden seal root. Also, if there was another one I would give out, it would go into traditionally what has been used, things like uva ursi, UVA, URSI, ursi. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, what's happening is we're holding it too long. And I understand that, a lot of people, whether conscious or unconsciously, don't realize they're doing it, but that's usually what it is. Also, I want to add one more to that. Lower back pain. Make sure you check to see your lower back pain. Make sure you don't have any lower lumbar issues. See, if you have a misalignment in your lower back, or like lower L1 through L5, you could cut the signal, oxygen, nutrients, and signal that leads into the urinary tract area. So that means you're more susceptible to issues with those areas, with the bladder, with the urinary tract system, anywhere in that lower, area of the body. So lower back pain, I would ask them. That would be some of the questions I would ask. But going back to protocols of dealing with UTIs is what we would do. Okay. And we mentioned that already.
All right. Yes, you did. All right, Jasmine. Jasmine, still there?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
So currently I'm in my first trimester of pregnancy, and I wanted to know if it would be safe for me to take the colon cleanse or the anti-parasite formula. I do the natural greens balance daily. And then the second part of my question is that I moved to North Carolina. So do you offer any virtual consultations? I've been a patient twice in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we do. Sometimes I haven't done virtual because of our time. Usually during the day, I'm usually sitting with folks all day. So I have not done the virtual, but I do phone calls every morning. That's the morning consultations. When you were mentioning your issue that you're was there an issue going on with pregnancy, or you just want to find out if it's okay, it's safe to take the colon or parasite formula?
Mm-hmm. There's no issue yet. I'm just 7 weeks, but online it's saying not to mix the burdock root and uber ursi. That's what I normally do.
Yeah,
but
I
they
wouldn't
said
do
stay
that.
away from
Right.
that.
Absolutely. See, those are not for, see, whenever you're having issues, usually with pregnancy, we have male, female, we have reproductive factors for women when you're pregnant. So I wouldn't be doing anything like that. That is correct. You always have, traditionally, what is used is red raspberry with any and everything that you do. Red raspberry is, we call the woman's herb, and it's actually used to sort of balance everything and to deliver it safely. So I would just stick right now to the balancing herbs for hormone and balance. That's what your key is: nutrients, hormonal balance. Those are the things that I would look for. See, those are the two. Those are definitely the ones you do not want to take while you're pregnant. Got it?
Yes.
When you're now, if you're taking for colon cleanse and parasite, are you having issues with? Reason why I was asking if there was an issue, was there problems with elimination right now?
Previously, but I wanted to check just before I order it to see if that's even safe for me.
Yeah, see, that's not something that you really want to do. You want to make sure that, see, the things that we would do is just keep you full nutrients. See, you're already going into a cycle of balance, and that's an automatic. When you're pregnant, your body goes into this hormonal balance that just the most magnificent thing that happens with women. You know, and y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
You say,
Teresa.
girl, you got that glow. Where'd you get that glow? You must be pregnant. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at that glow, and that glow has everything to do with hormonal balance. You got it? So it's a natural, it's a natural thing that already happens. So there are specific herbs that are already packed together that you can get. One's called Michael's. I don't know which one. Are you taking any prenatal factors right now?
Yes, I'm taking prenatal pills daily and also folic acid as well as chloramine tablets.
Yep, that's right. You stay right in that wheelhouse right there. That's right where you stay, with green drinks and that right there. That's all you need to worry about. Got it? You are in a state of automatically your endocrine system is balancing all this things because you're bringing another person in this world. You got it? So what happens with that, you're going to automatically be in a certain vibration. And with that vibration, that's going to already yield a certain amount of nutrients. Got it? So you don't have to do a whole lot. That's why you just have those basic ones like the folic. You'll notice probably there's red raspberry in that formula, right? I don't know if she's still there. It's in there, right? Yep. Because it has to be. Red raspberry is the deliverer. It's the deliverer. You know that. You know, only if there was a problem, and with proper assessment and proper, recommendation, that you would do something like that. There was a problem. You know, if anything else, just stay right in that wheelhouse. Those prenatal factors are all right on time. They got the formula right. So just stick with those formulas, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Take care now. Keep
All
your
right.
water right. Keep your water right, right? Keep your water.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And one short question from the chat, and they'll go up to ladies here up in the corner. What is Kalawala herb used for?
Kalawala.
Yes, Kalawala. Kalawala.
Okay, let me spell it. Hold up.
Kalawala. Kalawala herb.
Okay, Kalawala. Okay, now y'all getting into the traditional herbs of cultures in different places. Yes. So Kalawala, I can look in the family and see where that is. That is in Honduras. Is that correct?
I don't know. Let's see. That came from Cecilia. Cecilia, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, those are traditional herbs that are, remember, there's multiple solutions to a problem. So this is one that goes back into the blood cleanser line. That's the ones that deal with Honduras. Kalawala deals with things like, of course, psoriasis, vitiligo, those things like that. Those are things that deal with liver. because remember, anything on the skin deals with, liver. That's the body pushing it out. But it also is good for the nervous system. So those are herbs that grow where? Closer to the equator. Got it? So those are things now you just gotta basically know what you're dealing with. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Lady T, up in the corner. You there? Lady T?
Kalawala.
Okay. Since
Be
Lady
careful.
T's not there.
Remember also, I want to give you a disclaimer. You gotta watch when you're taking herbs from other parts of the world.
Yes,
Got it?
especially
Be
now.
careful because they're very powerful. That's like eating certain foods from certain areas. They're going to have a more powerful effect. So you got to do your homework. Make sure you do your homework. Okay.
Okay. All right, Lady T. She's back there, Dr. Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you just muted yourself back again. There, you're unmuted now. Go ahead.
I'm trying doing dishes and stuff. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, so I'm actually calling for oh my goodness, this thing keeps jumping back and forth. Okay, I'm actually calling for someone that's very dear to me. She's been diagnosed with cancer. And unfortunately, as that diagnosis, they actually removed her adrenal gland, in which I've heard you speak about. That's the thermostat of the hormones and all that, if I'm getting that correct. But I'm trying to figure out.
Fight or flight. That's fight or flight.
Yeah. So what would you suggest as a compensatory herb versus what they're giving her to compensate for the removal of her adrenal gland?
Yeah, she would need an assessment because remember, you're dealing with the adrenal glands are part of the endocrine system.
Okay.
And endocrine system is lined up with the thyroid, the parathyroid, pituitary, hypothalamus, all the way down to the pancreas, going all the way down to the sex organs. So what's happening there, you got to be careful. Adrenals fire off your ability to deal with trauma, stress. That's either dealing with things like fight or flight. When you need that extra energy to get out of danger, that's what that's for. But when they fire off, and they're throwing off the thyroid, that's when people have anxiety. That's why, when you have blood pressure, some people have what's called beta blockers, blocks that ability for that cortisol to release from there. So now you're saying she had cancer in the adrenal glands? Is that what
Yeah, they found that it was like I guess they were different.
Oh my goodness.
I can't think of the name of them, but tumors, right?
Yeah.
There were tumors on the adrenal gland, and she also had a lung removed as well.
She had a lung? Did you say lung?
Yeah, she has one lung because she had a lung removed as well.
Was she a smoker?
No, we really don't. I can't remember the name of the cancer, but she never smoked. And they think that it may have come from radon in the house. I'm so sorry.
I was just about, it's interesting that you say that. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Really?
Radon gas. Yes, radon gas. And if everybody is not familiar, when you have strange occurrences of cancer, somebody's not smoking, if something attacks things like the endocrine system, you got to look for radiation. That's a radiation or radon, or some levels of high toxicity that's invading the system. That's when we that's why the importance of the green drinks are so important with things like kelp, because that's actually helping to block the radioactive isotopes. So it keeps that stuff away from you. Got it? So, yeah, it sounds like something like radon. That's what it sounds like, radon gas. And you can correct those issues. You need someone to check your homes. You might want to ask yourself, when was the last time you got checked for radon? Got it? Radon in it'll take you about a day, usually about a day or two. They can check for that. And have somebody professionally come and get that. Don't go out there and get them little kits.
Right,
you do it yourself. Get somebody to do it professionally so that you know what's going on. Got it?
Okay, now, are you also saying that you can inquire with your physician to test you for that, even if you have no symptoms or anything like that? Or they could really test you for that?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because you know you're looking at the after effects. She's already had the procedure removal of the adrenals, so it's kind of hard to now judge it now. It's interesting when before she had the actual procedure, she may have been able to do some things, but it's kind of hard to track it now. Only thing you can do is go back to the house and test it. That's what.
Yeah,
you would
they've
do.
had that done. That's all been done and all that. Unfortunately, it was after the fact, but she
But
didn't
wait a
have
minute.
the.
So was it actually radon?
That I really don't know because family could be so secretive sometimes. So I really don't know. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
answer.
It sounds like it though.
Unfortunately.
It sounds like radiation.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like
yeah.
radiation. I think your
Came out of
suspicions.
nowhere.
I think your suspicions are very close. Yes.
Yeah.
Because
And thank you again for your time. I am I'm of course I'm in menopause cycle, and I know that you've suggested several things, but you know what? I seem like I'm getting the same responses if I drink a glass of wine as when I exercise. Like I just get a burst of, oh my God, it's just unbelievable how the burst of sweat.
You said a burst of sweat?
Yeah, oh my, when I'm exercising, I'm getting the same response. Now, if I drink a glass of wine, I know it's coming, right? But
what kind of wine you drinking?
Oh, you said it tonight. I didn't want to hear that. It's the white wine.
Oh no. Yeah, see, it's sending you. You got to watch the white wine because the white wine is it's very acidic. Here we go. Going back to pH again. Got you. It throws your pH off, and it's just energy stealers, fermentation. So that's why, I say if you got to do casual stuff, I mean, we ain't saying stop living, y'all. But I'm saying that you got to, add a lemon or a lime in there to cut that acid. That's why
I
we
do
see all
add
the
lemon in there, come to think of it. Thank you.
Yeah, lemon or lime. Make sure it's a number 9.
Okay.
Organic things like that can help to cut the acid, because you're dealing with alkalinity versus acid, and usually that can cause a problem. That can cause stagnation in the lymphatic system. Got it? So that can stop that system from moving. So be careful.
Okay.
But when it's probably saying, when you start to sweat, that means get it out. That means whatever it is, it's got to go. So that's what it means. It's your purging. And that's a good thing though, that you're purging like that. Yeah.
Even with the exercise, like it's over. It's really it's really really bad.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell y'all, sweating is a very good thing nowadays. It's a very, very good thing. It could be additional. See, what's happening is the wine could also be racing your adrenals. That's what the adrenals do. It races your adrenals. It increases your ability heightens your ability to move, to fight or flight. It's putting the energy where it needs the most in your legs, to avoid danger, to put it in your arms, to fight, to avoid danger. So it's putting you in. It could be putting you into a crisis state by taking too much acid. So be careful with that. Be careful.
Okay. So as far as my menopause part of it, what would you suggest in terms of supplementing for that?
Well, I gave out some different things. Let's see. If we go back to balance for women balancing herbs, sort of like a little toolbox that the ladies got to carry. Look, I say pocketbook. Your pocketbook of herbs that you're gonna need. You're gonna need stuff like milk thistle.
Okay, because someone put in the chat, because I'm sorry, I can't write it right now.
Okay, yeah, we'll have somebody do that.
Thank you.
So this is not to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease, just food for the soul. Just some of the traditional herbs that are used. So milk thistle, holy thistle, things like of course red raspberry. We talked about raspberry. Okay. Black cohosh.
I've heard of that. The black cohosh, I've heard of that.
Yep. Another one is angelica root. Okay. Another one would be called, or sometimes you'll see Angelica Root's other name is called Don Quay. Don Quay.
Now, are these simultaneously taken or just?
No, it's either it's just one. You don't need all of them. That's correct. You just need one. You just use one and work with one. These are balancer herbs for women. Yeah. Those are sort of ones that keep everyone in balance, keeps the, the hormones in check, things like that. Yeah.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate that.
Okay, sure. Take care now.
All right.
Big
All
B,
right.
what you got on the let's see, what do we have here?
Okay, we got Marie up there that's right next there. But then before her, real quick, there's a quick question here from Cheryl. She says, as a breast cancer survivor, I have to have annual mammograms, I guess, maintained. I'm still free of cancer and knowing I'm still okay. As a newcomer here, I will cleanse afterwards and change of seasons. Thank you. So we're just a comment she's making.
Oh, excellent. Yes. And I'd say start to adopt that tradition. When the medical allopathic system has a cycle, you have a cycle. What is your cycle? Cleanse every change of seasons. That's a cultural cleanse. That means keep it moving. That means you're allowing things to get, don't give it time to be causing problems, cleaning the blood, staying away from those things we just talked about that I was saying that cause blockage in the lymphatic system. The shrimp and the stuff like that I was just mentioning. All right. Cheese.
All right.
Watch the dairy, y'all. Watch the dairy. Watch
the Indeed.
Dairy.
Okay. Before Marie comes up, this is Marie's question, but then she can ask some other things. In regards to numbing and tingling from a pinched nerve in the neck, I already had 2 epidurals. What can be done other than surgery? Is that your question, Marie? And keep on if you got something else. You there, Marie?
First question I would ask Marie is she going to a chiropractor right now?
Marie, are you going to a chiropractor?
Good evening. No, I'm not going to a chiropractor. I'm just seeing a doctor at Southeast Orthopedics.
Yeah. Is it cervical?
Yes.
Okay. Whereabouts? C1 through C7, right?
Yeah. Between there and L4 and 5, I think. L4 and 5,
Okay.
and I think it was C2 and 3 or 3 and 4.
Right. Yes, 2 and 3 and 3 and 4. Yep. So you're dealing with cervical, and you had epidurals, or you said you did have epidurals?
Yes, I had 2 of them, and I still have the tingling and numbing my left arm.
Yep, that's what's happening. That's right in the area where it can actually deal with those, usually these 3 right here, 3 in the fingers right here, upper part fingers. Yep. So that's again a misalignment. So now you have to do a few things. I would definitely get with a chiropractor.
Okay.
That's number 1. Number 2, to evaluate your situation, to see where you are. You got to also strengthen the back. Also, whenever there's cervical issues, that means you're leaning forward like this. So watch the way you're leaning forward. Remember, your ear should be in line with your shoulder. Remember, we talked, you never been on call when I talk about that? Yeah, ear in line with the shoulder. So that means tuck your chin. There's a list of excellent exercises that you can do that are right online for cervical to strengthen the back. Lower lumbar tends to be lower lumbar L1 through L5 tends to be with issues with, again, watch your spine. Are you a side sleeper?
Mostly on my back.
Okay. So when you're doing, of course, if you side sleep or anything like that, have support for your back. Or also if you go on the side, put pillow between the legs, remember?
Okay.
So what you're trying to do is make sure you got to get an adjustment there because, I mentioned myofascial. Remember I mentioned myofascial earlier today?
Yeah.
You need a chiropractor that can actually help you with myofascial also, which means myo being muscle, fascial mean connective tissue. So it's basically triggers that help to release that stuff so that now your body can now release that energy. See, remember, we have this thing called muscle memory, which is trauma. It can be trauma. That's why we got to retrain the muscle to release again. And
Okay.
that's what the myofascial does. So if you get with somebody like Dr. Lynn, are you in Philly?
No, I'm in Florida.
Yeah, just ask for somebody you got a ton of people down there that do myofascial. You're in the capital right there. So look for a chiropractor. Try to get one that does both.
Okay.
Chiropractor and myofascial.
Marie, if you'll send me an email and request I have a list that Dr. Lenny gave me about folk in different areas.
That's right.
Okay, and hopefully, there's a contact there for you down there. Okay.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Big B, did you see any Florida down there?
Matter of fact, I'm trying to go through it right now, real quick. I'll look.
I'm in Clay County, Orange Park, Florida. Orange Park.
What's your zip code down there?
32073.
32073.
Right. So what you want to do with Marie, you want to look for myofascial release. That's what it's called. MYOFASCIAL.
Okay.
Got it. If you can find someone that does that, that's an excellent release. It's a therapy technique of releasing. Some confuse it with massage therapy. It's not. It's night and day. It's night and day. They'll actually hit certain trigger points that actually release that stuff. The areas where some of those tough membranes kind of wrap around like this, and some of them move and some of them don't. That's like, I always give everybody an example. You ever had, like, you might have left the window up one night and, cool air kind of came in while you were sleeping and you got a kink in your neck.
Right.
You ever got a kink in your neck? And you're like, can't move my neck like that.
Mhm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
So
Okay.
that myofascial will go in, you hit a trigger point, and then you would do a certain movement and you would work it out of there.
Right. Okay. And I have one other question. My niece, she has alkaline phosphates. It was 638. Now it's 232. So she wants to know, how can she get it down under 153? She doesn't eat meat.
Okay.
Vegetables.
Yeah, you're breaking up. What was that again?
Eats fruits and vegetables. She doesn't eat meat, and she doesn't eat dairy or processed food. So she wanted to know how she can get it down to 153 or below.
Right. So that's actually ALP, and you'll usually show the number. What was her number again? What's her number around?
232 now.
Yeah. So you remember that's when that's actually a little bit of the ALP is actually getting into that. It's getting into the bloodstream. So again, we're dealing with liver imbalance.
Yes.
So she's got to start to do things that help to balance the liver, going back to those ones we talked about. Is she a specific diet? She's in a specific diet?
No.
Not like a vegetarian or anything like that?
No, she just don't eat meat. She just doesn't eat meat or processed foods. Just fruits and vegetables.
Just fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, I mean, she eats some cashews and pistachios that her doctor told her that she could have. Other than that, that's it.
She doesn't eat fish or anything, right? At all? Yeah. So does she take any herbs? Do you know if she takes any herbs?
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I would do an assessment for her. She can do a phone consult. Tell her to give me a call. I would have about 10 questions for her.
10 questions.
Just off the top of my head, because you got to sort of troubleshoot situations. When the one issue is that I'm going to tell you that a lot of issues that vegetarians or vegans has a lot to do with, secondary processes that are getting into the food, and that's things like the pesticides, a lot of the chemicals, things like that. So it's secondary, because when they'll say, "Oh, well, I don't mess with none of that stuff," but yeah, the the overflow of that can get into that. So you got to
Uh-huh.
really be careful. You got to really be careful of these things like the Yeah, you got to really watch out for that. Those ones I gave you, the chlorpyrifos and the things like the glyphosates. These
Okay.
chemicals cause problems like that in people that are dealing with specifically vegans, vegetarians, people who have pescatarian diets, because it's going to go after bones, joints, ligaments, and you start to see things or imbalances in the liver. So you got to
Okay.
be very careful with that. I would
Okay.
tell her to set up a phone consult. Is she in Philly? She's not in Philly, right?
Well, she's here in Florida.
Yeah, just tell her to give a phone consult. I'll be glad to talk to her.
Okay, Dr. Paul, we're getting close to the time, but we got 3 folks
All
that
right.
we
All right,
want to
we
get
got
to.
3 last folks,
Yeah.
and we got to get out of here.
Yes, sir. But real
Y'all
quick,
got some good stuff tonight.
Yes, man. Real quick from the chat. So, how do you get cholesterol down? Currently, it is total 270, HDL 84, LDL 168, VLDL 18, and then we'll go to the last 3.
Yep. I will automatically, when I think of cholesterol, you got to directly go to oils. Got it? Oils. Watch the oils. Refined oils of all kind. No what? What's the number one? No canola oil or anywhere that it appears. You got to stay away from it. All right. The other one would be corn oil. Got it. The other one would be vegetable oil and peanut oil.
Virgin olive oil, and that's it.
Okay, virgin olive oil, but you got to watch the ones from Italy. Got it? Anything from Italy is cause a problem. They confiscated 7,000 tons, and it was actually canola oil. So if you're going to get it from Italy, if you want olive oil, Spain, Greece, Turkey, or Morocco. Those are the safe places. Got it?
Okay. All right. Real quick. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
No. I was just going to say those are some of the things that you got to watch out for.
Okay.
Onion tea, things like the onion tea help to lower that. The allium family, any of the alliums, which means that you're going back to things like the red onion, all the way down to the scallions or any of the garlic. You can prepare the teas. Those help. Red yeast rice, flaxseed, all of those things that deal with chia seeds, hemp seeds. All those things are good for cholesterol, reducing cholesterol.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Dr. P, we got Jamila. Jamila, you there?
Hi, yes, that's
Okay.
me. I'm here.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I have a couple of questions. I'm new to this forum, but I do like what I've heard thus far. I do have an assessment coming up in September, and I believe I scheduled one for my mom later on after me. So
Okay.
my couple questions are, when you mentioned the lymphatic cleanse, after you do these cleanses seasonally, do you have to do you suggest a prebiotic after a cleanse?
Well, remember, anything green is a prebiotic. Remember,
Okay.
we're the converters. We've been sold on probiotics, but we are the prebiotic that converts to probiotic. So, yep. So you don't have to do that. You can just stay on, the green drinks. Keep your pH. We test the pH to know where you are at all times. So if you have a good pH, that means your body's clicking on all cylinders. Got it? So that means proper pH, alkalinity stays between 6.5 and 7.5 on the pH. Okay. So usually after a lymphatic cleanse, every change of seasons, you just stay steady with the proper diet, proper water, green drink. Those are the things that you stay with.
Okay, and my second question is the green drink that you sell. Couple years ago, the doctors diagnosed me with lupus. And as I was doing research into it, I saw alfalfa sprouts was one of the things that I should not have, or I should not engage in. And I know that's one of the ingredients in your green product. So what's your take on that?
My question would be automatically to go to that study. Again, you got to make sure you're getting proper information, that it's a proper study done control study and not with something that have been sprouts that may have been sprayed. Got it? If they don't address the GMO factor, then it's a nullified situation. Remember what lupus is. Lupus is an autoimmune deficiency that's caused by, remember, we call it the wolf. You remember we call it the wolf. I don't know if you know the history about what lupus really means, but it means wolf. And it means that your white blood cells are firing off. It's autoimmune. It's like a miscommunication issue going on of inflammation in the body. So what's happening is a lot of that goes from an autoimmune system out of whack based on toxicity building up. Sweat glands usually shut down. Assimilation, you're not assimilating, and then usually it's not releasing. So it sort of sits like a cesspool in the body. Got it? So you're not getting it, assimilating it in, and you're not pushing it out, which means the lymphatic system's not moving. So it sits like a what? Like the Dead Sea, just sitting there. And that's the perfect condition for bacteria, virus, fungus, and all that. Then the body says, well, I can't get rid of this. So what am I going to do? I'm going to dump this in your blood. Autoimmune deficiency.
Yes.
Got it? Then eventually it's going to say, well, I'm going to push this out of you. So I'm going to push it out. And then sometimes you'll start to see things like bumps, blisters, boils, psoriasis, eczema, starts to push out of the skin. Those are accelerated versions of that. But it all just means just confusion or toxicity buildup. Got it? So that's why you would do that. So just keep that going. Cleanse every change of seasons. You got to get the sweating. You sweating? You got some exercise you doing?
Yeah, I've been sweating lately. Feel good.
Right. Good. Rebounder. That's the good one. Yeah. You know, there's people that have rebounders that have done the trampoline and they remove grapefruit-sized tumors out of your body by doing that. Powerful stuff, y'all. Powerful stuff. That rebounder is awesome. So jumping rope, but jumping rope a little bit hard on the ankles and the knees. So rebounder. Get on that rebound and start going. Don't get no cheat win though. Don't get no cheat win.
You said bouncing on the ball, just sitting and bouncing was good too?
Yep, you got the ball. For those that can't do a lot of bouncing, you can sit on it, also a rebounder, and bounce that way too. So if you're worried about, they have these stabilizer bars if you're worried about balance, but you can also sit on it and you graduate. So as you're sitting, you graduate to standing, then you jump. Got it. Take your time, y'all.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Jamila.
Can Mr. Bill put Dr. Lenny's information in the chat, please?
Sure.
Sure will.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jamila. Appreciate you. All right.
All right. Real quick, guys. We got just a little bit more time.
All right,
we're gonna wrap it up.
I can only take one more.
Okay, gonna take one more.
We gotta go.
Okay,
take one more. Who do you have?
Mike, do me a favor. Send your stuff to my Gmail address. Okay, that's Moto E5. All right, now
because then
Mike
he just came in like the Sandman. So
yeah,
you know what I mean. It's time to go.
Yes, sir. Yep, and you know exactly what time it is. Mike Harlan, you there? You're the last one, I guess.
I'm here. How you doing, Dr. Paul?
What's up, Mike?
You got it, bud. Always good seeing you, my brother.
Always a pleasure, my brother. Yes.
My wife is diabetic, and I've been giving her turmeric. But then I read where one of the side effects, turmeric lowers the blood sugar. And I've been giving it to her every day, and her blood sugar got dangerously low. So give me some feedback on that, Doc.
Yeah, you just got to watch the amount that you're giving her, in line with if she's taking already medication, that's probably where the effects were. You're taking both, and both of them are doing the same thing. That's why we try to say, just watch. I'm more with diabetics, more concerned with your food choices. The food choices of concentration. Remember, first thing comes to mind for every diabetic. If we got 160 people online right now, if you got diabetes or somebody in your family has diabetes, the first thing you need to ask them, are you eating too much concentration? They're gonna say, well, what is that? That's things that are refined. Got it? Refined, no moisture, things that pour slow, creamy. You know, you can have that Ritz cracker or those special crackers that you get from Whole Foods that have non-GMO, they're paleo, they got all of the certifications, but guess what? At the end of the day, it's still dehydrated. Got it? So that's where it's causing a problem with a lot of folks. They think that just because it's passed all those certifications, it's still not good for you. Got it?
Yes.
Careful.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, so should I give it to her minimally or not at all?
Yeah, you have to start writing things down. You know, make sure you monitor. You always want to monitor properly, period, whenever you're dealing with anything, especially when you're dealing with medication. You got to be very careful with that, Mike.
Good point.
You just have her on the she's going to continue to do her medication.
Yeah.
But if you're doing the turmeric, you got to be careful with that. You got to maybe lower the amount that you're doing. You don't take it at the same time, number one. Got it? Never take medication and herbs at the same time.
Well,
They're
what
doing
I
different
do,
things.
I space it out like an hour or two between her prescription medicines and that.
2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours. Okay.
Yeah, 2 to 3 hours. Yeah,
All right.
you don't want to do that. Yeah, you want to also get proper recommendation. I would recommend she see an assessment, get an assessment. Where you at? You in Virginia? You're still in Virginia? Yeah, you got to get with someone that's go to an herbal store and ask for the closest naturopath that's close to you, and you got to get an assessment. You need some help with that because you got to be careful. Be careful with your dosage. If it's caused that it's going too low, you don't want that because diabetes is something you don't want to play with.
No, I don't.
Yeah, don't want to play with that.
All
right. Thank you, doctor.
Always a pleasure, Mike.
Always.
My man. Big B, it's
Yes,
time
sir,
to wrap it up, baby.
Yes. And for those few of you who are still left, just make sure you do this. Here we go again. At the end of the day, you want to copy the nice chat, send an email to mechavideo@gmail.com. And what I'll do is there's questions that are not answered here, guys. I will forward that information to Dr. Paul. He'll respond to me and I'll get it back to you. Okay. Now, to continue to support the program, you're going to do that. Guess what? Use Dr. Paul's Cash App. That's $ Dr. Paul Hop. Okay. That's $ Dr. Paul Hop. Or if you use the bank, that's through Zelle. And the ID is Dr. Paul at drpaulherbs.com. Or you want to use the P.O. Box in it in Bill Morgan, P.O. Box 191, Mullica Hill, New Jersey, 08062. That's P.O. Box 191, Mullica Hill, New Jersey, 08062. And my name, Bill Morgan. And hey, invite so that we can do what? Keep the family healthy right here.
Hey, Big B, let's give Big B a hand over there, Big B.
That's what's up.
Thank you, buddy. I
man.
appreciate you, man.
Always.
Hey, you know what? Y'all had some great questions tonight. And you remember, as I always leave off, I say, you know what? I only charge you with one thing. Y'all know what that is? You got to go tell somebody.
I know that's right.
Thing. Right, Marcy? Don't hold on to this thing. If you want blessings to flow in your life, you got to let it go. That means blessings flow. As the more you sow, the more the blessings keep coming to you.
Yes.
I tell you, you can't be God-given, man. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Yeah, well.
All right. We want to thank y'all for coming in, chiming in. Remember, be encouraged, and remember, if you're breathing,
you got a shot. There we go. Hey.
Come on, tap it out.
Hey.
All right. Karen, where you at? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man. Where you at, man? Come on down.
That's the hard rock.
I see y'all over there. All right, come on down. Good. Hit the chin. Release all that good stuff. Come on down to the chest. Right here, right in the collarbone. See the collarbone? Right under there. Tap. And breathe. Now stop. And just press right here. And breathe. Right there, that releases all the mucus out of the lungs. Right there. One more. Take a deep breath. Press it a little bit. And breathe. it out. Ah, sometimes you feel it. Open up. One more time. Take a deep breath. And breathe it out. Good, good. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Left, right side. Tap, tap. Tap, tap. What's on the left side, y'all? No, ain't no fat over there. Ain't no fat over there. Ain't nobody fat in here. Hey, then on the right side, what you got on the right side?
Opposite of the left.
All right. All right. Touche, Big B. All right. Tap, 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 tap. That's it. Open the other side. Inside. Good, good. All the way up to the shoulder. This is also and breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Trust me on that one.
And why do we stop breathing? You have to explain that one day.
Yeah, stop breathing.
You're concentrating. I think we're concentrating.
Yeah, because if you stop breathing, you're out of here. Bye.
Don't stop breathing. Don't stop breathing.
Come on, don't stop breathing now.
All right,
Hold your
good.
breath. You hold your, sometimes I hold my breath. I don't
And breathe, and breathe, and breathe. And come on, give me a little energy. Got the perfect music for this one.
Yeah. Hey. Uh-huh.
Lift nose, lift nose.
Yeah. Bring it together. Get that heat. Feel that heat? Good. Feel that heat. That's your heat. That's your energy. Take that right there. And then wipe it on down. Wipe it on down. Wipe it on down. Don't touch yourself. There you go. I see you over there, Patricia. That's the way you do it. She did it like this, B. She said it like this. Oh, man. She getting good over there.
Patricia, yeah, I heard that. Yeah, yes.
I see that.
Yeah, yes.
Wait, y'all bad over there. You know, all you got to do is if somebody come over there acting crazy to you, you go like this. They be like, I ain't messing with you. You like some kung fu or something.
Just being natural, a natural healer.
Yes, right.
So that's way to get a negative.
Come on, rub it down. Good intentions.
Yeah.
You are wonderful. You are beautiful. You have all that is good and all that's great comes to you.
Yes.
Press down, shaking and overflowing.
Yes.
Finances, resources, opportunities, all of that. You got to go into that rhythm. Got to get into that vibration. Isn't that awesome? Last one. Clap. 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 And then you take that top one and rub it over that bottom one. You feel it? Feel that energy? Keep that bottom one still. Feel that ball moving in there? That's your energy. Take that last one. Put a blessing on yourself. God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. And thank you for chiming in to the family.
Good dreams. Yeah.
Good night. Light love.
Come on, dance it out, y'all. Dance it out. Go ahead, y'all. Y'all jamming tonight. Look at that big thing. Go ahead. Y'all get up and dance if y'all want to. Go ahead, Zipporah. I see you, Zipporah.
I get up, I might fall
Go ahead,
over.
Mark. I see you, Mark. Mark Kinsey is in the house.
Mark Kinsey in the house.
Yes, sir.
All right, Dr. Paul, who is
They told that dude he would never walk again. And Big B is
Mark said,
moving and grooving.
Mark said, I don't believe that because I got it going on like that.
That's right.
Who's this y'all playing tonight?
This is Brazilian samba.
There's a whole bunch of Brazilian samba, Dr. Paul.
I gotta look to see which one it is. This is a specific artist. If you wait for a second, I can tell you. This is called Samba Magic, based in jazz.
Samba Magic.
Yeah.
I've been working out on this music. I'm serious.
It's great. That's right. All right, I see you, Carol. I see you.
Got a shot. God bless
All
everybody.
right. God bless y'all. We're gonna count y'all down.
Good night, everybody.
Count down. Count down. Count down.
See y'all later. Have a blessed night.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the best part of the song right there. Y'all jamming. You don't want to go off, man. This one right here is called Anaha. Anaha. Jungle. This is called Jungle. Jungle. All right, support the family tree. Support the family tree. We'll see y'all next week. God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. Take care.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, everybody.
Little Paul. Good night, Big Deal.
Good night. Good night. Good night to the cat.